Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Inshallah, we will start our pre-calculus revision. Let's start with the first question. We need to draw for f of x is equal to 4 minus x cubed. Okay. At first, the main parent function is x cubed, which is drawn like this, something like this. But we have a negative sign here, so we will reflect it about it's a negative sign of y or x. You can take it as the same. It will be reflected about x-axis or y-axis. Let's reflect it about y-axis. And we have a translation here, 4 units up, because this one is related to y, not to x. So we will count 4 units up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here is the center of our graph, and you will draw a graph like this. I'm sorry, to the other side. Because it's reflected about y-axis. Now let's move to the second graph. F g of x is equal to x plus 7 all to the power 4. Okay, about power 4, you will deal with it like you deal with the quadratic function, which is a smile face like this. But the difference is power 4 or any even power. It will just be a little bit wider from down there. Okay, and we have a translation here, x plus 7. It means we will shift our function 7 units to the left of the origin point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The center of the graph will be here, and you'll draw it and be sure you will make it just a little wider. Okay, it's like you're drawing the quadratic function, but make it wider. Okay, let's move on. State the number of possible real zeros and turning points of each function, then determine all the real zeros by factoring. Okay, about this one, number of possible real zeros. Okay, I would agree here 3, so our possible real zero is 3. And about turning points, they will be 2. They will be smaller than the degree, the degree of the leading term by 1. Okay, how to get the zeros by factorizing? At first, we will take x as a common factor. If x is equal to, we see this, we have x a common factor, so we will take x as a common factor. And we will have x power 2 minus 6x minus 27. And then we will factorize the quadratic function. You can use your calculator. So we will make mod 5 3. The first coefficient is 1, second coefficient negative 6, third coefficient negative 27. The first answer is 9. So we have here the first answer is 9. So this one will be x minus 9. Okay, about the second answer, it's negative 3. So we have the second answer, x is equal to negative 3, so we have here x plus 3. And of course this one, don't forget, we have x is equal to 0. And these are the 3 zeros of this function. Okay, let's do the same with this one. About the possible number of real zeros, there are 4. About possible number of turning points, there are 3. So real zeros, there are 4 turning points, and this is the maximum number. Of course, it can be smaller but not greater. We speak about real zeros or real numbers. Okay, right now we will try to factorize it. We'll notice this, we have the degree of the leading coefficient is double the degree of the middle term. So the middle coefficient and the middle term and the leading term. So you can deal with it as you deal with quadratic. So we can do it like this: f of x is equal to. You can use your calculator mod 5 3 to solve it. And the first coefficient is 1, second coefficient is negative 8, third coefficient is 15. The first answer is 5, second answer is 3. Okay, let's do it. First answer is 5, second answer is 3, but we have a problem here. The middle term is of the second degree, so this is the second degree, and this one, of course, it will be x squared minus 5, x squared minus 3. But we didn't finish yet. Actually, you have to factorize it one more time. Since you have x power 2, you have to factorize it one more time. So the first one be x minus x plus, and we will take the square root of 5. Second one, x minus x plus, and you'll take the square root of 3. And right now you have all of the zeros, which are x is equal to positive or negative root 5 and positive or negative root 3. Okay, let's move on. We need to do a long division. Okay, let's do it. We have x cubed plus 7x squared plus 4x minus 12, and all of this we need to divide it by x plus 6. Okay, we will take the leading term here, which is x power 3, we'll divide it by x. So we'll take this one and divide it by this one. You have x power 2. Okay, after you get x power 2, you will do the reverse operation, which is multiplication, so multiply by x and you multiply by 6. When you multiply by x, you will get x power 3. When you multiply by 6, you will get positive 6x squared. Okay, third step, change the sign. So this one will be negative, this one will be negative. Let's add. This one will be cancelled. 7 minus 6 is 1. So we have x squared. We need to drop down the next term so that we can continue our division. So we'll drop down 4x. Okay, start from the beginning. Let's divide x squared divided by x. It will be x. Let's multiply x times x equals x squared, and x times x equals positive 6x. Okay, let's change the sign. This one will be negative, this one will be negative, cancelled, be negative 2x, and drop down the next term so that we can continue. Now let's repeat it one more time. Let's divide negative 2x by x, give you negative 2, multiply, give you negative 2x, negative 12, change the sign, cancelled, and this one give you 0. And we're done. The answer will be x squared plus x minus 2. This is your answer. Okay, factorial polynomial uses a given completely. If you want to factorize it completely, you will do it like this. So this one, it's the same as this one. Okay, let's continue. We need to use long division. Let's do it one more time. We have 8x cubed. You have to be sure there's nothing missing. You started with the third degree, and then the second degree, and then the first degree, and then the absolute term. There is nothing missing. If you have any term missing, any degree missing, you will just leave a space. So let's start by division. We'll divide the first term with the first term. 8 divided by 2 is equal to 4, and x power 3 divided by 2, divided by x will give you x power 2. Let's multiply, give you 8x power 3, and then negative 12x power 2. Change the sign. This one will be negative, this one will be positive, cancelled, so it will be negative 6 x power 2, and drop down the next term so that we can continue. Let's do it one more time. Let's divide. It will give you negative 3x. Let's multiply. Negative 6x squared plus 9x. Let's change the sign. Plus, minus. It's add, cancelled. It will give you 12 or 11. 12. 12x. Let's drop down the last term so that we can continue. It will be negative 20 let's divide 12x divided by 2 give you 6. Let's multiply give you 12x minus 18. Let's change the sign, negative positive cancel. This one will give you negative 2. We have finished, but if you need to write the answer will be the quotient, which is 4x squared minus 3x plus 6 plus the remainder, which is negative 2, the number down there, divided by the divisor, which is 2x minus 3. Here's the full answer, and you can simplify, of course, by multiplying negative and positive here, give you negative, but in general, this is the full answer. Okay, let's do this one. We need to use long division also. 2x power 3 plus 5x power 2 minus 7x plus 6 divided by x power 2 plus 3x minus 4. Actually, it's not different from the previous one. You will start with the same steps, you will do the same steps. You will divide the first term with the first term, so give you 2x. Okay, multiply, give you 2x power 3 plus 6x squared minus 8x. Now change the sign. This one will be negative, this one will be negative, this one will be positive. Cancel this one, negative x squared, this one plus x, and drop down the next term so that you can continue. Okay, let's do it one more time. Let's divide negative x squared divided by negative x squared give you negative 1. Multiply give you negative x squared, negative 3x, positive 4. Change the sign, positive, positive, negative. Cancelled. This one give you 4x, this one negative, positive 2. We don't have any other term to drop it down, and we finished. Actually, the answer can be written like this: 2x minus 1 plus the remainder, which is here is a linear function, it's 4x plus 2, and you will divide it by the divisor, which is x squared plus 3x minus 4. Okay, you will have a little note here: the degree of the numerator must be smaller than the degree of the denominator all the time, so that you can be sure your answer is correct, inshallah. Okay, let's continue. I just need to recap it one more time, just a second. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right here, he needs to use synthetic division. It's very easy, and we use it as an alternative of long division. And also, you have to be sure all degrees are there. If there's any degree missing, all what you need to do is just leave a space, make it zero, instead of leaving a space. Okay, this one's the coefficient of the dividends: 4, 3, negative 1, 8, and then we will take the inverse of this number, which is 3, and let's start our two steps: drop down and multiply. We will drop down 4, multiply 4 times 3, 12. Drop down, which gains the answer, it's 15. Multiply give you 45. Drop down the answer, it's 44. Multiply give you 132, and then 140. Actually, this number must be 0. If it wasn't 0, it's a remainder. The last one must be 0, or it will be a remainder. The remainder here is not 0. So how to write the answer? Let's compare the degrees. Here's 3, here's 1. Let's get their difference. It's 2. So the answer will start with power 2. So this one 4. It's 4x power 2 plus 15x plus 44. Do you remember what we'll do with the remainder? Put up and the divisor down, and we're done. This is the full answer. Okay, let's move on. The same synthetic division, but right here you have a problem, and this problem is this coefficient. It should be 1. If it wasn't 1, actually you have two ways to do it. The box way, and I don't recommend it. I have taught you another way, and we will do it right now, inshallah. My way is depends on this. We'll do it normally without any changes, like we'll take the coefficient 6, 11, negative 15, and there's nothing missing, of course, inshallah. 7, and then we'll take the inverse of this number, the absolute term, which is negative 1. But about this problem, all what you need to do is divide by it. So we will divide by it. And remember the last number, the remainder will be here, okay? It will be either 0 or any other number, but it will be here. Let's start. Okay, here's your steps. Drop down and multiply, but right now I'll drop down. I want to multiply directly, I have to divide first. So 6 divided by 3 give you 2. This is all what you need to do if you got your ancestor coefficient here instead of being 1. So you will just divide by it, and remember the remainder will be at last here. So 6 divided by 3 is 2, and then multiply give you negative 2, and then 9 divided by 3 is 3, multiply negative 3, negative 18, divide negative 6, multiply give you 6, and then negative 6, negative 2, multiply give you 2, and then 9. Okay, stop. We want to divide the remainder. Okay, we will keep it like this. So let's write the answer. The answer, you will subtract the degrees. 4 minus 1 is 3. So we will start with power 3. 2x power 3 plus 3x power 2 minus 6x minus 2 plus the remainder, which is 9 over 3x plus 1. Here's how to do it with my way, is to divide by the cluster coefficient here, and you have to remember the remainder is back there. But the box way is a little bit complicated. It depends on making this coefficient to be 1. You will divide all the coefficients by 3. You will get something like 11 over 3 here, and 7 over 3, and 1 over 3. You will get a little bit complicated numbers, but it will be easy if you're using a calculator. And remember, you at the end you have to make back 3x plus 1 instead of being x plus like the box way. So I recommend my way, and inshallah it's an easy way. Let's continue. List all possible rational zeros of each function, then determine which, if any, are zeros. Okay, about this one is very easy. It's the rational zero theorem. You will take this number, get its coefficients 1 and 2, and we will take the positive or negative. Remember the coefficient here is 1. Okay, so let's try it and let's see which one of them is a zero. To do it, all what you need to do is start by writing the function. It's x power 3 plus 5x power 2 minus 4x minus 2. And then let's calculate it at 1. It's a 0, so 1 is 0. Let's see what else. Let's calculate it at negative 1. No, it's not 0. Let's calculate it at 2. Not 0. Let's calculate it at negative 2. Not 0. So the only 0 is 1. Okay, the only 0 is positive 1. Let's do the same here. Okay, we will get all the factors of this number divided by all the factors of this number, because this one is not 1. So we will try this. Factors of 36, it's 1 times 36, it's 2 times 18, it's 3 times 12, it's 4 times 9, and it's 6 times 6. Okay, the factors of 2 is 1 and 2. Of course, all of this is positive and negative. All of this is positive and negative. Okay, let's write the function and try it. It's 2x power 3 minus 4x power 2 plus 18x minus 36. Okay, and right now let's calculate it at 1. Okay, calculated at -1, calculated at 2. Yes, 2 is a 0. Okay, let's continue. Calculated at -2, calculated at 3, calculated at -3, calculated at 4, calculated at -4, calculated at 6, calculated at -6, calculated at 9, calculated at -9, calculated at 12, calculated at -12, calculated at 18, calculated at -18, calculated at 36, calculated at -36. Okay, let's try to calculate it at 1/3. Let's calculate it at sorry, go back. Let's calculate it at -1/3. Okay, let's calculate it at 1.5. Calculate it at -1.5. Okay, let's calculate it at 4.5. Yeah, 4.5. Let's calculate it at -4.5. Okay, that's it. We have tried all of the suggested coefficient, sorry, zeros, so we have only two. We have only two. This is the only numbers that we got here. Okay, this is the only zero. Let's move to Descartes' rule of sign. This one is very useful to determine the positive and negative real zeros. So we need to describe the real zeros right now. We will notice the changing sign, positive, positive, negative. We have the first change here. We have only one change here. So actually we must have one real zero, positive zero. One real, I'm sure I have one real positive zero. Okay, real positive 0, and you have to get h of negative x. It will be -6x power 5 plus 8x power 2 plus 10x, sorry, 10x minus 15. Okay, and let's notice the change in sign. 1, 2. We have 2 change in sign, so we could have 2, and because it's decreased by 2, so or 0 or 0, 2 or 0, real negative zeros. So I'm sure that I have one real positive zero. I must have one real positive zero and two real negative zeros or 0 real negative zeros, because both of them could be complex numbers, complex zeros. Okay, this is what I have here. So let's move on. Write a polynomial function of least degree with real coefficient in standard form for the given zeros. Okay, let's start with the zeros. Let's say we have of x, we have it the 0 is -3, so we have x power plus 3. The 0 is 1, so we have x minus 1, and multiplicity is 2, so we'll make it power 2. And the 0 is 4i, so we'll make it x minus 4i, and also x plus 4i, because the conjugate must be also a 0. So let's start. We will expand this one and we will multiply this one. Let's keep the first one the same right now, because we need to write it in standard form. This one will be x power 2 minus 2x plus 1, and this one will be x plus 16, x power 2, sorry, plus 16. Okay, let's multiply these two first. So we have x plus 3 the same, and x power 2 times x power 2 we'll do it like this. Give you x power 4 minus 2x power 3 plus x power 2 plus 16x power 2 minus 32. Okay, sorry. So we have x power 4 minus 2x power 3 plus x power 2 plus 16x power 2 minus 32x plus 16. Okay, plus 16. We will simplify and then we will start multiplying by x power plus 3, but let's simplify first. This one will be 17x power 2. Let's do it. So it will be x power 5 minus 2x power 4 plus 17x power 3 minus 32x power 2 plus 16x. Let's start multiplying by 3, so it will be plus 3x power 4 minus 6x power 3 plus 51 x power 2 minus 96 x plus 48. Let's write the final answer, so it will be x power 5 plus x power 4 plus 11x power 3 plus, so it will be 19 x power 2. Okay, so just a second. 90, yeah, it's 90. Okay, and this one, it will be negative 80 x plus 48. This is the full answer in the standard form. Okay, let's continue. Vector finds the zeros of polynomial. We need to write each function as the product of linear irreducible quadratic factors and linear and irreducible quadratic factors and the product of linear factors, and list all of the zeros. Let's do it. Okay, at first let's get the coefficient of 120. It will help us to find some zeros of this function. So let's do it. Coefficients of 120: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 12. Okay, 12 and 20. I think 20. Okay, let's start doing it like this. And 24, yes, and 30 and 60 and 120. All of those will be positive and negative. We will do it the same. We'll write our polynomial and we'll try it all of the coefficients, positive and negative, of course. Let's do it. This one, let's make it 4, and this coefficient, let's make it 1 plus bar 3 minus 26 bar 2 plus 4x minus 120. Okay, let's start our calculation. Let's start at 1, no, negative 1, no, 2, negative 2, 3, negative 3, 4, negative 4, 5. Yes, 5 is a 0. Negative 5, 6, negative 6, 5, and the negative 6. Okay, actually, we got good steps here. X is equal to 5, x is equal to negative 6. Let's do it. So we will make synthetic division, okay, so that we can get the remaining polynomial. We will take the coefficient of the function, which is 1, 1, negative 26, 4, negative 120, and we will use 5. Of course, the last number here, it must be 0, okay? Let's do it. 1, 5, 6, 3, 4, 20, 24, 120, and it's a 0. We will do the same with 6, with negative 6, sorry, and the last number here, it must be 0. So this is negative 6, 1, negative 6, 0, 0, 4, 24, and it's a 0, yes. So this is the final answer, which is x power 2 plus 4, because we made x power 4 2 times, so it will be x power 2. Actually, we can get it like this. F of x is equal to x minus 5, x plus 6, and x power 2 plus 4. This one is the product of linear and irreducible quadratic factors, because this one we cannot factorize it. And we can make it linear right now. Let's make it linear factors. F of x is equal to x minus 5, x plus 6. To make this one to be linear, we will use complex numbers, so it will be, it's like x power 2 minus negative 4, so it will be x plus and x minus, and root of 4 is 2, so it will be 2i and negative 2i. It will be like this. Right now we need to list all of the zeros. Let's move on. Find the domain of each function and the equation of the vertical and horizontal asymptotes, if any. Okay, this one, to get the domain, we will get the zeros of the denominator. So x plus 5 is equal to 0, x is equal to negative 5. Actually, this number is undefined for this function, so we have the domain. All of real numbers except negative 5. Okay, about the asymptotes and the equation of asymptote, we have a vertical asymptote, which is x is equal to negative 5. This is the equation of the vertical asymptote, okay? It is 0 of the denominator. And we have a horizontal asymptote because we have the equal degrees here. The horizontal asymptote will be 15 divided by 1, which is equal to 15. So y is equal to 15 is the horizontal asymptote. So this one vertical asymptote, and this one horizontal asymptote. Okay, and we're done. Okay, we need to graph this function. At first, let's get, of course, the domain will be x is equal to negative 1, and actually x is equal to, sorry, negative 2. X is equal to negative 2 is a vertical asymptote. And we have x is equal, sorry, y is equal to 1 is horizontal asymptote. And this is our start. So x is equal to negative 2. We will make a vertical asymptote like this. And at y is equal to 1, we will make horizontal asymptote like this. Right now we need to determine which two quadrants we will draw this rational function. The 0 here is 6. The 0 is 6. This one. We have a 0 here. So it should be like this. Okay. It will be close to our asymptotes. It should be close to our asymptotes. You can draw it approximately like this and like this. This is your rational function. And of course, you can be sure by plugging some values here or gain some values for accurate drawing. So let's move on. Let's solve this one. We need to get the vertical asymptotes and horizontal asymptotes at first. Let's factorize it up and down. We'll use our calculator mod 5.3. Let's do it. So mod 5.3, and the coefficient down will be 1, 1, -12, and the answer will be 3 and -4. So we have here x minus 3 and x plus 4. We will do the same for the top function. It will be 1, 10, and 24. -4 and -6. So we have x plus 4 and x plus 6. Of course, we will get the reverse, the inverse of each number. Actually, we can cancel this one, but we must remember x mustn't be equal to -4 because it's 0 for the denominator. And right now we can draw this function, and we know it is the same graph. And just to be sure, you are not drawing anything at x is equal to -4. So how we will do it? Let's get the vertical asymptote. It's x equal to 3. About horizontal asymptote, this is 1 and this is 1, so y is equal to 1 is horizontal asymptote. We can draw it like now, right now. So 1, 2, 3, this is our vertical asymptote, and y is equal to 1, this is our horizontal asymptote, and we got 0 at -6, so here. And remember, at -4 we don't have any number, we don't have anything, so we have a gap. It's like you come to -4 and you draw a gap, okay, and complete your drawing close to your asymptotes like this. This is the graph. Okay, let's move on. Alhamdulillah, we finished our revision, and good luck inshallah.